Today's topic is pronouns in the accusative case. As you'll remember, pronouns are words that replace a named noun. So instead of saying the bus, I could say it. Instead of saying Mary, we can say she. You are already very familiar with pronouns in the nominative case, the case being used for the subject of the sentence. What will be new to you are pronouns used in the accusative case. In other words, pronouns used as direct objects like me, him, her, us, and so on. Let's take a look at pronouns in the nominative case. These will probably seem very familiar because they're the pronouns you use when you conjugate verbs. That makes sense because verbs are always conjugated for the subject of the sentence. Compare those pronouns to the corresponding pronouns in the accusative case, so the same pronouns turned from subjects into direct objects. First off, you'll notice that ich has turned into mich. This corresponds to I and me in English. In English, I can say I like my math teacher, where I is the subject, but I can't say me like my math teacher, because me isn't a subject pronoun, it's a direct object pronoun. By the same token, I can say the history teacher likes me, because me is a direct object pronoun. But I couldn't say the history teacher likes I, because I can only be used for subjects. It works the same in German. I can say ich habe den Mathelehrer gern, but not mich habe den Mathelehrer gern. Or I could say der Geschichtslehrer hat mich gern, but I couldn't say der Geschichtslehrer hat ich gern. Moving on, you'll also notice that du has become dich. This is tricky for English speakers because the word you can be used as a subject, as in you play tennis, or as a direct object. My cat doesn't like you in English. So you have to pay special attention to du and dich. In the third person, you'll notice that er becomes ihn. This corresponds to he and him in English, and it also fits in nicely with what you already know about masculine nouns in German. Der becomes den in the accusative case, ein becomes einen, and er becomes ihn. All three times, you end up with an N on the end of the article or pronoun used with masculine accusative nouns. Also, watch out, English speakers. We're used to she becoming her as a direct object in English, but sie stays sie. That may seem strange at first, but remember that die and eine didn't change in the accusative case, so neither does sie. Moving on, wir becomes uns. A hint here is that this actually sounds a lot like we and us. Ihr becomes euch. Again, there's not even an English word for ihr, let alone a direct object form, so you'll have to be careful with this one. Now, let's look at these pronouns used in context. Let's pretend that there's a very unfriendly cat out there. For some reason, everyone likes this cat, but since it's so unfriendly, it doesn't like anyone back. Now might be a good time to pause the video and see if you can figure out which pronouns belong in the blanks. In the first blank, we have mich, the accusative form of ich. In the second blank, du, the subject pronoun, becomes dich, the direct object accusative pronoun. In the third blank, when we use a pronoun to refer to Bob, we can't just assume it will be er anymore. Maybe we need to use a direct object pronoun. In this example, we do in fact need to use an accusative case pronoun because Bob is being disliked in that second clause, not doing the disliking. So instead of er, we'll use ihn. Susie is simple. Sie is the only option for feminine words, whether they're subjects or direct objects. The same goes for neuter words. The only option there will be s. In the next sentence, wir is the subject pronoun. But we couldn't say, die Katze hat wir nicht gern. We need the accusative case pronoun instead. Die Katze hat uns nicht gern. Ihr is also a subject pronoun, so instead of die Katze hat ihr nicht gern, we'll use the direct object pronoun. Die Katze hat euch nicht gern. With plural nouns, in the third person, the only option is sie. And with the formal form, the only option is sie, this time capitalized, of course. Let's review. Some pronouns stay the same when used as direct objects, but some are different. Mich, dich, ihn, uns, and euch are the ones to watch out for. With masculine nouns, een is related to den and einen, so use that letter N ending to jog your memory about the pronoun een.